Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 3.5 Notes, Day 3. Today we're going to be talking about formulas, equations with multiple variables. Our learning target today is to be able to solve literal equations and formulas. Now, there is a huge difference between solving equations with one variable and solving equations with different kinds of variables, okay? So, with one equation, one variable equations, okay, we've talked about how we distribute. You get your variables to one side, and then you use SADMAP, okay? And we've got we're gonna do example of both of those below. But when we're solving with different variables, okay, one of the things that's different about that is we don't distribute, okay? We don't distribute, but combine if possible. Okay? And then the last thing that we do in both of those is we're going to use SADMAP. Okay? So let's kind of zoom in a little bit and we'll look at our hold on, there's one thing I want to look at first. Now, what's it say right here in our little note? Okay, go away. I don't want you. You can multiply or divide unlike terms, but you cannot add or subtract unlike terms. If they are not the same, you can't combine them. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. Looking at problem number 1, there's only one variable. The directions are asking us to solve for x. Okay? So the first thing that we would do is distribute. There's only one variable. We can do that. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 4 is 12. Everything on the right side stays the same. Now, can we combine anything? No. But we need to get our variables onto one side. So I'm going to subtract the smaller variable because it's a positive 2x. 2x minus x is x, and we're left with x plus 12 equals 1. Now, to get the x all by itself, we have to subtract. We're following SADMAP right now, and we get x equals negative 11. Okay? And that is our final answer. Okay? But now when we're doing problems like B, where we've got multiple variables, we have to follow these new rules over here. Okay? So I'm going to draw the line down the middle. It wants me to solve for x. Okay? So we have to follow the rules of SADMAP. Now, the first thing that we need to do, we don't distribute, so I need to get rid of that 3. How do I get rid of that 3? Well, it's multiplying right now. Since the x is on the left side, I want to get that 3 to the right side. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 3. We're left with x plus y equals, what's 21 divided by 3? 7. Now, is that x by itself? No, it's not. That y is still there. So to get the y by itself, we need to subtract. And we're left with x equals 7w minus y. Okay? Couple things to remember when your final answers, we always want to put them in alphabetical order. Okay? Your book gets a little lazy with that with the answers, but make sure you know how to put it in alphabetical order. Okay? All right. B was a hard one. The ones we're going to be focusing on down here, not so much. Okay? So, in all of the directions, it tells us to solve for m. Okay? So how do I solve for m in example A? We're subtracting 8, and we have to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides, and we get m equals 17 plus 8 is 25. Okay? B, draw the line. I have to solve for m. To get the m by itself, I need to add p to both sides. The p's cancel. The m is all by itself. And in alphabetical order, m equals n plus p. Okay, C. There's my m. What's happening to the m? Well, it's being multiplied. And to get rid of multiplication, we divide. You cancel your nines. The m is all by itself. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And we're left with 2w. So m equals 2w. Okay. The key thing, guys, SADMAP is the key with multiple variables. Okay. We're just following SADMAP. Right now, those ones have only been 2-step. In a second, they're going to get a little bit harder. Okay. So there's my m. If there's something next to it, it means multiplication. And how do we get rid of multiplication? With division. I want to get that c squared to the other side so I can cancel it. Sorry, I forgot to draw my line. And then we're left with e over c squared equals m. Okay. While these look very difficult, I think these are very easy because you're just moving things around. Okay, and you're just practicing the rules. All right, E. There's my m. What operation is happening to the m? Well, it's being divided. Remember that that bar means division. And to get rid of division, we multiply. Okay, so the m is all by itself. And 3DA, remember we write the variables in alphabetical order. All right, F. F, we need to pay attention because of multiple steps. Okay, we're trying to solve for m, and we have multiplication and subtraction. So when we're following SADMAP, we need to do subtraction first and then multiplication second. Okay, so we have to add the n to the other side, and we get 3m equals n plus p. Okay, and now the m is not by itself because it still has that 3 right there. And that's the multiplication. So after we do the subtraction, which we just did, now we get rid of multiplication, and we get multiplication by division. And we have to divide everything by 3. Okay? So you can have two different answers. You can have the n plus p divided by 3. Or, depending on your teacher last year, be like, oh, well, I want you to reduce this to the 2 separate parts. Okay? Your other one could say 1/3 n plus 1/3 p. Okay? Know that those are the same thing. The way Ms. Carranza and I will write it will be like that. Okay? But sometimes, I will say sometimes we will ask you to write it like this. It really just depends on the problem, and you're going to need to listen for the directions. Okay? All right. Going back. Oh, does anyone know what E equals MC squared is? That's a special formula. If you don't know, you should look it up. Okay? Now, for these, we need to pay attention because it's telling us right here, solve for the indicated variable. Our first one, solve for R. Do you guys know what C equals 2 pi R stands for? It's circumference of a circle. Okay, so everything going across is being multiplied. Since I want to solve for R, I want to get rid of the 2, and I want to get rid of the pi. And since we're multiplying everything, I can kind of divide it and cancel it out right away. And we get C over 2 pi equals R. And then our R is all by itself, which is what we wanted. Okay? Letter B. Do you guys know what R equals E over I is? Okay. It's something to do with electricity. Okay. Mechanics, electricians, tons of people use this formula all the time. Okay. So if I want to solve for E, right now it's being, remember that bar means division. And to get rid of division, we need to multiply. Okay. So multiply both sides, and then we get I times R equals E. Okay. All right. We have to solve for W. Okay. This is another one with order of operations. Okay. We have addition, so we have to get rid of the addition first, which is right here, and then we'll get rid of the multiplication. So the first thing that we have to subtract is we have to subtract the 2L to both sides. Okay, so P minus 2L equals 2W. Do you guys know what this equation is, by the way? P, 2W plus, or 2L plus 2W? We're talking about perimeter of a rectangle. Okay? Now, that W is not by itself because that 2 is over there. Okay? So we're going to divide everything by 2. And we would get P minus 2L over 2 equals W. Or if you're writing it the other way, you would end up getting W equals 1/2 P minus L. Sorry, that's really small. I don't have a lot of room. But that's where we would simplify and simplify. Okay? But don't worry about it. Okay, we got 3 more problems. We have to solve for pi. Now, while this looks like it's a lot of steps, first off, does anyone know what this is? Remember that V equals volume. Okay, in this specific one, we're talking about volume of a cone. Okay, now, the first thing that I'm going to get rid of is I'm going to get rid of that fraction because I don't like fractions. Now, we don't divide by fractions because you really don't want your problem to look like that. That's like, what am I doing? Okay, To get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal, which is just 3. Okay? So those cancel, and you're left with 3v equals pi times radius squared times your height. Okay? There's your pi. We still need to get rid of the r squared and the h. That's all multiplication. And to get rid of multiplication, we use division. So when you're done, you get 3v over r squared h equals pi. Okay. Letter E. Okay, we're talking about A is area. And for this specific example, we're talking about area of a trapezoid. Remember, because we got the height going down, the base 1, and the base 2. This wants us to solve for the base 1. Okay, there we go. So once again, the first thing that I'm going to get rid of is I'm going to get rid of that fraction. So when I get rid of that fraction, I want to multiply by the reciprocal. So fraction, boom, gone. We have 2a equals h, base 1, base 2. Okay, remember we don't distribute that h. I want to divide by the h to move it to the other side because my base of 1 is right there. So we have 2a over h equals your base of 1 plus base of 2. Woo! Are we done yet? No. The last thing that we have to do is we're going to subtract. And remember, if they aren't the same, guys, which 99% of the time they're not, you just move it and you keep track of it. Don't lose it. Okay? Watch your signs and then you're done. Okay? We got the B1 all by itself. All right, if you're feeling ambitious, pause the video, see if you can do F all by yourself. You're solving for that C. Okay, just remember order of operations. We're doing the SAD map. So I'm going to subtract the b squared first because I want to cancel my addition first. And we're left with a squared minus b squared equals 3cd. Okay, that c is not by itself, and that's all multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 3d, so those cancel. But then I need to divide everything over here by 3d. And when we're done, the a squared minus b squared is on top. You have the 3d on the bottom, and you're solving for c, which is now all by itself. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for Algebra 2, Chapter 3.5, Notes, Part 3. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and good luck on your quiz.